So when we think about wealth, it's often related to material things like cars or trips or a big house. But coming from a place where my parents never made more than $40,000 a year, and now that I make well over $40,000 a month, and in fact became a seven-figure business owner and a millionaire at the age of 25, there were some things that I just never expected to happen to my life. And so if you want to have that insight of these secret unspoken things that being wealthy can help you to achieve so that you can dream bigger for your own life, then I'm going to dive into that right now. The first thing that nobody ever talked to me about was the fact that your problems become inconveniences. And it is such a blessing to be able to say this, but there were times that I remember growing up and my parents would have a bad transmission or battery where our car would stall on the road, like things like that. And to where we were not able to get those things fixed for weeks or sometimes months at a time and having to go back and forth borrowing from people and things like that. Whereas for me now, where I could literally have my entire car break down, a Range Rover, and we could go into the dealership today and buy another one in cash. And that is a huge blessing. And it's something where all these things that used to be like earth-shattering problems are now just minor inconveniences. Like, sure, it'd be inconvenient to have to go to the dealership, to have to get a new car, to have to organize a rental in the meantime, but it's nothing that would actually change our lives. If nothing that would stop anything or have any issues to any other goals that we were trying to achieve, or it wouldn't offset or disrupt any other parts of our life. And to be able to do that, to where things that, even things like parking tickets or all of that stuff, where none of that actually matters to us anymore. And it's just as simple as dropping a penny on the ground, is something that I never really thought that I would be able to say. And it's something that I never expected to be a benefit of wealth. The second thing that was so unexpected for me is really having the luxury of listening to my body. I was a very hard worker. I followed the way the system told me of the 9 to 5 and climbing the ladder. And I was the first one into work, the last one to leave. I've worked jobs where I was skating at Sonic for literally 12 hours a day for 6 to 7 hours a week. I've worked claims. I've done all this stuff. And one thing that was in common for almost every job that I had was how demanding it was and how I felt like I really couldn't take time off. And so even if I had a headache, even if I didn't feel well, even if it was that time of the month and I just was not feeling it at all, or maybe I just needed to rest, I still was coming into work, because not only was it expected of me from my coworkers, from my peers, from my boss and my employers, but it was also something where some of the jobs didn't have great PTO and some of them didn't approve if you wanted off and all of these other things. And so I just really got into the habit of not listening to my body and not honoring it, because I couldn't afford to not have the money that was coming in. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you just can't do that. And so now that I'm in a place of wealth and I can literally choose to, if I get a headache right now, I can stop this video, go take a nap and come record this video tomorrow or the next day. You know, if I am in a place where we want to go take a vacation because we just need to let go of it all, I don't have to worry about that my money is going to stop while I am out living life or going to the gym or doing these other things. And so just being able to prioritize my health, to listen to my body, has enabled me to make even more money, because I'm able to show up in front of the camera and always be at my best self. And if I'm not, then I don't have to do it. This third one, you guys, is still unnatural to me. And that is not having to rush. I remember being in the store just the other day looking for shoes, and I just always have lived life with this urgency about me that is just like, I have to go. I don't have time. There's other stuff that we have to do. But it's like, now there's really not. Like, there's nothing that we have to do that are not things that we don't want to do and not things that we can't move, you know? And so when I'm sitting and I'm looking at shoes, I don't have to rush. I don't have to hurry up and pick something. In fact, I don't even have to pick anything right now if I don't find anything I like, because it's not like there's this limited amount of money. And if I don't spend it today, then I won't have it tomorrow. And so I know the money's going to be there. I know the store is going to be there, and I can just take my time. When I'm driving and we're in the morning and we try not to drive with the traffic, and we build our lives around not being there where other people are. But in those instances where we are, and I just see people zooming off to work, people zooming back home from work, because that's the only time that they get to themselves. And it really does make me sad to think about that there are so many people who could have a life that is so different, that's so much better than that if they wanted it. But there are different things that are preventing them from getting there. And most of those things, frankly, are themselves, but that's for another video. And when I think about not having to rush and just being able to take my time, being able to have leisurely strolls, being able to do things without rushing, it is still something that blows my mind and I'm super grateful for. Even just things like staying up with my husband and watching movies, or going to midnight premieres, or going to a vacation and deciding that we want to stay a couple of extra days and just being able to extend the stay without having to tell anyone or without having to check for anything. It has been just some of the biggest like life-changing moments of my life have come from not having to rush anymore. And honestly, as sweet as those other things are, there is nothing that compares to point 4, which is the ability to give to people at a level that changes your life. But for you, it's just another day of the week. And I have always loved and had a heart for giving to other people. I remember being at a place where I would cry sometimes after church, hearing like the needs of the church and saying like, Lord, please give me the finances to be able to help people. And now it's been to the point where we have been able to give, like my uncle needed help with rent. We were able to just give him $2,000 and tell him, don't worry about paying us back. My cousin who I was helping with resumes, we were able to literally say here, and she didn't have a laptop. And so she was like literally trying to use her phone to do resumes. And I told her, just give me 1 second, I'll be back. And we came back and bought her a laptop so that she could be able to do resumes and also have the opportunity to work from home, because some of those jobs required her to have a laptop, which she didn't. And so things like that, being able to take my family on all expenses paid trips, being able to even help people with getting cars and things like that, things that change their life forever, that literally don't even make a dent into our bank account, has been like, when you have a tree that has enough fruit, not just for you, but to feed people around you. And you realize like every single moment that I worked for this was so worth it. Every prayer, every tear, every trial, every failure was worth it to get to this point. And honestly, that's why I make this video and videos like this to talk about the lifestyle behind it, because I know that you are watching this video right now because this is something that you're working towards. And I just want you to be sure that it is so worth it. Being able to retire your parents, being able to build generational wealth for your family, being able to make sure your kids never have to ask for a loan from anybody is so worth everything that you are going through to get there. And so I just know that there's someone watching this video who is looking for that confirmation, who maybe has failed and doesn't know if it's time to give up, who maybe hasn't tried because they don't know, is it really worth it? Will it really make that big of a difference? And I'm telling you, you will live an entirely different life that not only is for you, but that is for all the people that God has put in your life to be able to help feed too. The next thing that being able to have wealth will change in your life is being able to curate your surroundings. You get to choose what neighborhoods you live in. You get to choose what hotels you stay at. You get to choose with so much more specificity the company that you keep, and that environment that you have will propel you into even greater success and even greater wealth. And even on an aesthetic basis, you get to choose what your life looks like. You get to choose. I'm in the process now of decorating my office, and it is so fun being able to just go on Pinterest and pick things that I like and not worry about how much it costs. And again, all of these things end up just funneling into making more money, because when I'm in an environment that I love, it leads me to being more inspired to creating better content and then making even more money. And so it's just a wonderful thing where I get to pick the homes that I love, the car that I love, the hotel rooms that speak to me and things like that. And you are able to truly curate your life on a level where everything that you have are the things that you want to have, not just the leftovers or what's in the budget of what you can afford. Number 6 is something that I will never stop being grateful for, and that is the ability to be free from mundane tasks and to truly just do the things that I want to do. So, for example, I do not value using my manual labor to do laundry or to clean the house. And so we have a housekeeper who comes in and she cleans our house twice a week. And then we have a person who does our laundry, and I put the laundry in a basket and I put it outside and they pick it up and it comes back and it's all done for me. And these are things that are just such a weight off of my shoulders that I can come home to a clean house that I didn't have to clean. And me being in a household, waking up to Saturday morning gospel music on cleaning, this was just something that had always been a dream, that I would be able to do that. And having had to be the one doing it for most of my life, now being in a place where it's optional is such a blessing. And even for me, I love to cook. I would probably never hire a personal chef except for like after pregnancies or something, because I just really enjoy it. But that's the thing. You get to choose what you want to do. You get to choose what you enjoy. And even on the days where I don't feel like cooking, I don't have to drag myself into the kitchen to do it. I know that we always have the money to go out to eat, to order something in, to order a meal delivery service or whatever else. And so it's truly a matter of being able to choose what I want to do and when I want to do it. And my husband gets the same luxury where he gets to either fix the car or pay somebody else to do it. He gets to do the lawn or pay somebody else to do it. And so having that ability to truly choose where we put our time has been so valuable. And that leads me to the next point, which is the ability to pursue passion projects. And I don't know how many of you are watching this that actually have hobbies, but there was a study actually that showed that so many adults that are so many American adults don't actually have hobbies anymore. And I understand, because who has time between having to like literally work at your job and do overtime or whatever you're having to do. And then on top of that, having to potentially take care of a family, go to church and do all of those other things. If you have time to work out and all that other stuff, where do hobbies come in? And that was something where for so long, I didn't even know what my interests outside of work and building a business were, especially when I was doing those things at the same time. And so now where my business is literally on autopilot, I'm working 5 hours a week and again, making over $100,000 a month. I get to do whatever hobbies that I want to do. I weightlift, which I love, and I can spend as much time in the gym as I want to. I get to do triathlon training and buy a bike on a whim that most people would have to save up for. And I am able to write, which is something that I've been doing lately, and looking into writing and storytelling and the process of becoming an author, which is something I didn't think I would be able to do until I retired. And I'm so interested in the comments. If you want to share, what would you be doing if you had the time? What hobbies, what interests, what instruments would you want to play? Would you want to learn how to paint? Would you want to learn how to take up some sort of martial arts or to be able to do something? What would you want to do if you had more time to do it? And that is what has been unlocked with us not only creating wealth. And again, a lot of this is specific to just the business model that we chose and being able to have passive income, because I have seen people who are business owners and who are technically wealthy on paper, but still do not have time freedom because they chose a business that chains them to a physical location, that chains them to have to come in to work and do these physical things. But when you have wealth, not just of money, but wealth of time, then it opens an entirely new world for you. So if you are, or when you get there, what are the hobbies that you are excited to explore? Let me know in the comments. The next thing that becomes different is personalized versus generalized, is that you are able to get personalized everything. And there is some personalizations which you don't even know exist until you have the money for it to be an option. And even simple things like when we go on trips and being able to unlock experiences, like instead of waiting in the general lines, being able to get VIP passes and have backstage experiences and skip the entire line and be taken straight to the front. Like all of these things that we never even knew were options until we had the wealth to be able to access them. And even things like with healthcare and things like that, where I can go to a personalized nutritionist who's going to give me a plan as opposed to taking general advice from the internet. I can get a personal trainer who's going to look at videos or come in person and help me correct my form rather than trying to figure out how to run from a TikTok. And so, of course, you do what you can with where you have, or you do what you can with where you're at. But being able to actually experience that and to be able to get personalized recommendations for my specific health, for my specific lifestyle, for my specific goals, being able to get someone to come in and tell me the best way to decorate my particular home, as opposed to looking for tips online, has been something that has really up-leveled my life in every single area. And this last point is one that I want to talk about with a deep type of humility and a deep type of respect, because it's something that really should not be taken lightly. And some people pursue wealth for this reason alone, which certainly was not my intent. It was really kind of accidental. And it's something that I wish wasn't the case, but it is. And that is that wealth gives you the ability to have influence. Wealth really does get you a seat at the table. And that's just the truth. And people who never respected you, people who did not give you the time of day, will suddenly start asking you for advice. And this happened within my family, where previously I would have to fight to get a word in edgewise. I'm the baby of my family, and everybody else is like 7 plus, 10 plus years older than me, all cousins and aunts and uncles. And now when we speak, the room gets quiet. And people ask us our opinion, me and my husband, on decisions and what they should do or what the family's going to do and things like that. And people trust us with things that they never would have trusted us with before. And it's not that we were different people. It's that now they see the fruit. And when they see the wealth that you have built, there is an assumption of kind of who you had to be and able to get that. And that is a person that people now respect. And I have seen it when we have gone to hotels and when we were driving my Kia Soul versus when we pulled up in the Range Rover. I have seen it when people see our home or they find out about our businesses or anything like that. The way that they speak to you is dramatically different. And it really honestly makes me sad, because I think all of us are worthy of that same respect. All of us are worthy of having our voices heard. But the truth is that having wealth will get you a level of power and a level of influence that you simply don't have before you get there. If you are interested in doing what I do or learning what I do, you can check out the free training in the description, which goes over everything that I use to be able to turn my skills into passive income in a way that helps other people and enables me to literally work 5 hours a week while making over $100,000 a month. And if you're interested in learning more, I will see you in that free training.